Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So in this video we will discuss about SE Linux, which is advanced layer of security, and we also will discuss about what are the mode of SE Linux, how you can change it to enforcing and permissive mode, how you can change the default setting, how you can set the default setting mode, and how we can troubleshoot what is issue related to SE Linux and similar like SE Linux Boolean also we will study in this video. Guys, if you have not subscribed to my video, please subscribe to my video as well as channel, because I'm creating the video for the beginners and definitely it's gonna help you. So let's start here. So these are the topics I'm going to cover. First is enabling and monitoring security enhance in Linux. Basic security, Linux security concept, what is why is SE Linux security came in picture, what are the modes and what is Boolean configurations, how you can change the mode and what is the default mode you can set it, and what is SE Linux context and how it's applied for the changing of a file context, what is the default file context rule, and changing SE Boolean and set SE Linux Booleans and troubleshooting if you are facing any SE Linux issue. Okay, let's start. So enabling and monitoring security enhancement. So basically, if you want to check what mode is set into your operating system, you have to run get enforce command, which will help you to determine in which mode currently you are. Or when you do ls space the list command, then you can use capital Z capital Z. This will also show you what is the context label set on that particular files or directory. For Boolean, you can use get SE BOOL -a to list all the Boolean policy that currently SE Linux have and what are the on and off conditions. So basically, basic security concept. Why SE Linux came into picture? Because we already have file permissions, we have other security. So why the security Linux is important for us? So basically, there is additional layer of security, and primary layers, as everybody knows, user group and permissions are related. So as part of security to protect the user data, this additional layer of security also came in picture. Okay, so let's move to the next one. So how it's look like, basic SE Linux security concept. So if you see our operating system, if let's say we don't have SE Linux security, all application they can access to all files and directories. So they can access any of the file and directory. We don't have any kind of restrictions, so this application can write into these files and folders anything which is not under our control. Okay, but if the Linux security comes into picture, we can define which application have to access which particular files or directories. So here where security SE Linux work. Next move to the next slide. SE Linux label context. Basically, this context defined with end with the _t, and let's say for web server we have httpd_t. For HTML, I mean for Apache web server we have web www.html, which is httpd sys content t. For normal file and directory we have, for temp and where temp we have temp_t, and same for the port http port_t. Now if you want to see for a process, how you can see ps space -ax capital Z. If you see that process related to init_t kernel_t, and if you restart the services again, you will see it will change back from kernel_t to http_t. Sorry, this is related to httpd. If you have restarted the services and httpd, you want to see what is the context set context label set. So http underscore d, that is set for the http d. For home directory, if you want to check the context which is set, so you can see for student home directory, user home directory underscore t, and same for visitor, user underscore home underscore directory underscore t. Similar, like if you want to check for where at www, so you can run with capital Z, and it will show you httpd underscore sys underscore content underscore t. So this is context label type what are set on the different files and folders as well as process. So we have two type of mode, enforcing mode and permissive mode. In enforcing mode, what you can do, you define the addition security to the system so that only specific application can access to the specific files and folders, not to all. But in permissive, we application have access to all, temporary to all files and directories, depends what rules you have defined. This basically we change to permissive mode whenever you have to do troubleshooting where the issue is. So that's a easier way to start troubleshooting after changing into permissive mode. So and there's also third mode, which is disable mode. If you have to change from either permissive or enforcing mode to disable mode, you have to reboot the system, and same you have to do when you are doing back. That means from disabling mode to either enforcing or permissive mode. So in both situation you have to reboot the system. But if you are changing from enforcing to permissive and permissive to enforcing, you don't need to change, you don't need to reboot the system. Set the boolean. So booleans, first how you can get the boolean, set sc boolean space -8 will list all everything, and basically these are the policy of SC Linux which you can enable or disable. Let's say if you want Apache Web Services to access the user home directory, then you can allow the home directory to access by the Apache application. So there are different kind of rules that you can allow based on what really rules you want to on and off. So now we have this is the example of changing mode. Let's say get enforce, you get the value and get an enforcing value. Now you want to set it, but you don't specify any parameters, so it will give you a message, usage enforce set enforce equal to either enforcing or promising or 1 or 0. So either of the options you have to specify. So set enforce 0 meaning you want to change it to permissive mode, where most of the file and directories and most of the securities get disabled and you can do your own troubleshooting. Set enforcing, where system apply more security, so you can set by this way. 0 and 1 also, this is another method, you can set it either 0 and 1. This is shown both method here. Let's move to next slide. Setting the default SC Linux. Let's say you want to change the SC Linux mode only to permissive. So what you have to do, in the configuration file of SC Linux, you have to define what mode you want to set it, always permissive. So this is the configuration file, etc SC Linux config file, and under inside SC Linux equal to enforce. If you want to change it to permissive, just mention permissive. If you want to make it disable, just make it disable. So all the options are given here: enforcing, permissive, disable. So this, whenever system reboot, it will always take the input from this configuration file and set the system into that mode. Now we are talking about the SC context of a file. Let's say you have one parent file, parent folders, and you create one file there, so it will automatically inherit the SC context of a file context from its parents directory. Okay, so here is one example. Let's say we have where www html httpd sys content underscore t. So this is permission set on where www html. So when you touch a file inside this location, you can see by default it will take https sys content underscore t. So whatever the parent directory have its contacts, same label is going to take for the file and subdirectories inside that particular directory. So it's like a parent child parents inheritance. Changing the SELinux context of a file. There is an example is given. Let's say you have one directory virtual and the directory virtual have default underscore t, and you are going to change it from chcon and hyphen t httpd sys content underscore t to virtual into this one, from default underscore t to httpd underscore sys underscore content underscore t. Okay, just view it whether it's okay or not. So I think this line should be down, but no worries. Now restore -v virtual. So what it will do, the moment you will run this command restore -v, it will restore all the virtual directories context into the context what you have just now set, which is httpd sys context. So you can see httpd sys underscore content underscore t, it has set now. And if you want to view it again, so manually we have changed it to httpd underscore sys underscore content underscore t. The moment you do restore con, it will change back to the original one. Okay, which is from httpd underscore sys underscore content underscore t to object underscore r, default underscore t, which was the previous one. Okay, so this is a temporary method, you can change it, but after you restore the settings, default settings, it will came back to its original settings, which was this, the previous one, object underscore r default underscore t, this one. Okay, now defining SE default file context. So for a particular file, wherever you are creating, it will take the permissions or context label from that particular parent directory. But if you are moving or copying, they may behave differently. How it may behave differently, let's explain in this example. Let's say you have created two files, file 1, file 2, and you are listing both having same user underscore temp underscore t, user underscore temp underscore t. One file you are doing moving, another file you are doing copy. What it will do, it will move from one location to another location under the where www.html. So both files, one done copy, one done move. So let's see what is the permissions. For the file 1, the permission will be user underscore temp underscore t. Moreover, for the file 2, it's httpd underscore sys underscore content underscore t. Why it is? Because the moment you do copy from one location to where www.html, it will take the parent directory context label, which is for sc manage f context -l, which is for the where location, it's httpd sys, current location, it is httpd sys content c, and not httpd, it's for sc manage f context and -l, where we have defined for where www, it will be httpd underscore sys underscore content underscore t. But the moment you do restore configure -rv, this one, then it will change from user underscore temp underscore t to httpd underscore sys underscore content underscore t. Why? Because we have defined the context for where www and whatever directories inside, which is this one. Okay, so restore means by default permissions it will restore, which is we have already set here. Now let's see this file. So the moment we will do restore conf, it will apply for all the file and directory inside this where www. For file 1 and file 2, it will automatically will change to http /sys_content_t. Okay, so guys, this is very good and clear example. I hope you will like this example. Now let's move to the next one, adding a context. So let's say you want to add a context. What do you have to do? You create a virtual directory and one file inside. Then let's see what is the permissions, context. That's a default _t. Then check for virtual what is the context has been default context. This is default _t, and this is for the index.html file which is under the virtual scf context -a add. What context? httpd sys content_d. That's for virtual and all the directories inside. And the moment you do setting, it will be automatically change the context from default _t to httpd _sys_content.t. Now the moment you do restore conf r capital RF virtual and list the content, the content of this file, which is http which is index.html, and the directory itself, both will change to httpd _sys_content_t. Okay, so by this way you can set the context label of a file, directories, whatever. Now boolean, why it's used? Basically this is a policy for the SE/Linux which you can enable or disable. I give you one example where you want user home directory to be accessed by one applications, so you can disable or enable home directory in the SE/Linux rules. For set we use set, or for getting we use get scbool. It should be mentioned somewhere, maybe in next slide. Okay, so set get scbool -a, so it will give you all the policies of SE/Linux, everything. Now set boolean, this one specific. If you want to see httpd enable home directory off, set httpd enable home directory on. It's a temporary, and just view it. Now it's changed, but after reboot it will go back to off. If you want to set it permanent, -P. Now check the status on. That means after reboot also it will be also on, and this is for allow http to enable the home directories. Let's move to the next slide. Troubleshooting of SE/Linux issue. Why SE/Linux sometimes, even though it's working fine, but still it give you issue, and there are few fixed issue that you can find out, troubleshoot. So here we are going to discuss. So incorrect file context, you need to see the file context for that particular directory is set correctly or not. If it is not set correctly, you need to set it, or you need to restore based on the directory. Okay, and another issue may occur which is related to boolean. So let's say any of the user wanted to access any FTP directory or user home directory, so you can make it enable. Otherwise, if you don't enable it, it will give you permission deny issue. Monitoring SE/Linux violation. So sometimes many activity happens or user do, and whenever it's not matching the SE/Linux policy, it will generate the logs which will go to the verilog messages, also verilog audit log. Okay, then from there we can identify what is the issue, who is trying to what, and where we can resolve the issue, how we can resolve the issue. This is part of troubleshooting as well. Okay, let's say we have touched the file under this root file 3. Move this file from this to this, systemctl restart httpd, and curl this location. This is localhost location, file 3 we wanted to access. Now we are given the access of, you don't have permission to access file 3 on the server. Okay, why we don't have? Because this file 3 don't have context similar like where www html. Okay, so how you can find out the issue? First you need to go to the where log audit log, and you can see the denied issue and admin underscore home underscore t. Okay, and you also may go to tail where log messages. At the end you will get issue. This server set troubleshoot SE Linux is preventing this from get attr access to the file. Okay, and for more information please see this one. The moment we see alert -l and this very big of number of digit, then you can see this one. HTTP should have allow get attr access on the file by default, then you should report this as a bug. So what you have to do, you have this basically preventing HTTPD to access the file. Okay, and what file is a file 3? So basically we have to change the file 3 to a HTTP specific file type, and after changing we need to restart the SSH services, and definitely it can be resolved. Guys, I know this is very lengthy chapter, but this is one of the important in Linux. So here we will start for the practical. So here you can see we have a 2 operating system, SC alert notification. Okay, this I'll see later. So server 1 and server 2, let's log in into server 1 and server 2. Make sure firewall is disabled. Firewall D. Oh sorry, I think I did start instead of checking the status. It's started already. Just stop it, and you can see it's already disabled, so you no need to disable. Okay, similar you check the status on the second server. Why we are disabling the firewall? Because most of the times it's a cause issue, because it don't allow access to the server. So check firewall is already disabled, let it be disabled. Check the enforcement mode of SE Linux, get enforce. So here is set with the get enforcing, and here it is same. Now let's do one thing, you just disable it, set enforce, either make it 1, it will change it to make it 0, then it will change it to permissive. Same thing you can do here on another server. And check the permission. Try to do telnet on port 80, because later we have to do testing on the port 88. So before that you must check whether port 80 is able to telnet or not. So -10680. Oh, we don't have telnet. Let's see whether we have any repo. I think we have one repo, yum install telnet. it will install telnet package because we have already configured yum repository. Same check on this server. So it's showing some error, system is not registered. That's fine, because what I did, I just mount the ISO. From that ISO I try to did the creation of repo. I think this is looking for MNT, which is not available. Let's see. So we need to mount the this is we have ISO mounted, so we have to mount this ISO loop hyphen read write and MNT yum repo list. Now it's listing yum install telnet. Guys, why I'm telnet, nothing to do, it's already installed. Why I'm trying to install the telnet, because I need to test with the port whether port 80 is working or not. So it's connected, just check for the same telnet 10580 connection refused. So meaning we are able to telnet from server A to server B. Okay, let's clear this screen, some content of my previous lab. Okay, so that means you are able to do the telnet from server 1 to server 2, and telnet port 80 is working. Okay, but it's not working from server 2 to server 1. Telnet not working. So guys, so what we will do, we will create, because this is not working, we need to troubleshoot this. I will do offline, and on server 2 basically I will install my HTTPD server, and from server 1 will be work as client and server 2 will work as a host. So it will work as a client and this will work as a host, HTTPD host. Okay, application host server. So let's do one thing on this server 2. First install yum install HTTPD. So it's already installed. Let's see the services, system ctl status HTTPD. Oh sorry, I must check the status. Okay, no problem. And we can see it's enabled also, it's running, so that's fine. We will create one directory, and direct mkdir custom, and set the permission for this inside this. Just create a file, custom / index.html. so just write mention this is on server 2 and its content. Save the file, then http config file. First you need to take the backup, because in case if you need to revert back you can do it. Okay, underscore 26 November 2021. List whether it's done or not. Verification is most important, so you can see the backup is also there. vi, and added the HTTP configuration. Check the where location, and what you have to do, you have to replace this where location to the custom, because just now I created custom directory and I want to use for the HTTP application. Okay, so hash and make it document root custom hyphen hash o just copy from here slash custom close. Okay, you do one thing, just restart the HTTPS services. So we do it restart. Some error is there, let's see what's error is there. Fail to restart document. I think spelling is not correct. Let's go back. Now check with custom document. N is missing. So always you must do copy paste, because typing most of the time I get error, so I always try to do the copy. Just to restart the HTTPS. Yeah, nice work. Already started the HTTPD services. Let's see from the server to from server 1, because we have configured HTTP server services on server 2, so we are trying to access from server 1. Server 1 is working as a client. So open the terminal. Oh sorry, no need to open the terminal, we need to access it from the Firefox. So guys, I'm not sure how good it visible to you. Let me make the screen bigger. One 192.168.1.106. Wow, so it's working. Okay, and now let's do one thing. Let's make it minimize. We just type the HTTP and slash index.html. so it's working. Now do one thing, on server 2 just disable the permissive mode and force 0, get enforce permissive. Sorry, we need to make it 1 to make it enforce. Okay, now try to access the content of a content from the HTTPS. Okay, let's see. So you can see now error, what you can see, it's a you don't have permission to access slash index.html on this server. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's see, manage f context -a-t, then httpd sys content_t and the name of a file, which is custom slash. This format guys, as I said before, you have to learn it. Question mark. Let's see it's working here or not. httpd content and now this time it's working, because if you see ls space hyphen capital LZ custom, you have still the default one, and for this what you have to do, restore con hyphen rv and the name of a file. Now you check the context level, it now is changed from this object underscore r default underscore t to httpds system sys content t, and then restart the services system ctl restart httpd. Okay, let's see. Basically you should be able to, let me make a full screen. Oh wow, so you can see from the HTTP services you are able to see the content of root file directory and server 2, which is its content. So guys, I think by this way you are able to get what exactly SC Linux and how it's work, what are the mode, and how you can enable disable, and if you don't enable it, what is the way how you can change it. So guys, if you like this video, please click on the like button and make it most liked video, and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Till then, thank you, take care, bye bye.